and I'm going to be a little crass, running ads on a bad brand is like putting lipstick on a pig. Hey guys, welcome back to the CEO Glow Show. 3 smart ways to spend your tax return instead of wasting it on stupid stuff, honestly. So today I figured I would talk about, it's coming. Your tax return's coming. Are you excited? This episode is all about how beauty entrepreneurs can utilize their tax return wisely instead of dopamine hits like designer bags or Botox. Luxury vacations. I love all these things, of course. Hello, I love me some preservatives. But to be honest, they don't make you money. They make you look rich. But is that actually being a good steward of what God has given you? And this is coming from somebody that does buy those things and has bought them in the past, but I've learned. I'm going to teach you the top 3 things to spend your money on that will set you up for long-term success. And I'm going to be spilling the tea on the dumbest things I've ever wasted money on. Like running a cable TV ad. Yes, I've done that. I thought it was going to magically bring me clients. And I talked to some of you in my DMs at Real Sheila Bella, by the way, if you want to DM me. And you guys have the same plan. Please, before you do that, talk to me first. Listen to this podcast. Because there's better things that you can be spending your money on when it comes to marketing. So you just got your tax return and you're thinking, ooh, I deserve this. Or I should probably be responsible, or I should get that Louis bag I've had my eye on. So let me tell you, I own a pink pair of Manolo Blahniks. I own a lot of designer shoes, actually. And it was like when I started making a lot of money, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is just what rich people do. I can shop in the rich people section now at Neiman's. Like, this is truly what I did. And I have to say, there was something about like buying those things, like the experience of buying those things, having like department store people like rush to you, that kind of made me feel like I've arrived, like I was good enough. Like I was just like, I'm Filipino, so I have a lot of relatives that are in the medical field. And I have like a side of my family that's like, they're all doctors and they're all rich. They live in huge homes in like Bell Canyon and Lancaster and things like that. And I saw them at parties, and my parents weren't rich, but they would always invite us to their mansion parties. And I remember they were like dripping in designer, and my mom never wore that stuff. But there was something about wearing them, if I'm doing therapy on here, and buying them that made me feel like legitimized, like I was like them now. And to be honest with you, this is not very kind to think, but I was like, oh, I'm like doing something my mom never did. And I have to say, now that I'm turning 43 in a couple of days, now that I'm here and I've had money, I know what it's like to have money. I also know what it's like to be broke. I also know what it's like to be like stressed out. The thrill is kind of gone. I'm not saying I'm never going to do that again, but maybe I won't. Because I realize now what I was buying. I was buying an identity. And now that I've met actual rich people, like people that I've met that have a lot of designer things, have money problems. And I'm like, I've talked to a lot of people and they have like designer things and like real jewelry and diamonds and things like that. And they're stressed out about finances. And I'm like, why? I thought that if you had designer things, it meant that you were financially stable and that you never had to worry about money ever again. And reading a bunch of books and stuff like that, did you know that most millionaires are school teachers in America? And it's all about sacrificing that short-term pleasure for long-term gain. I mean, those shoes, the Valentinos, the Manolos, they looked good on my Instagram, but they did nothing for my bank account. Here's one that I thought was going to make me money, which was a cable TV advertisement. So I don't know how this came across my lap, but there was an opportunity to run a cable TV ad for my permanent makeup business, and my dad footed the bill. $35,000 on a cable TV spot that ran on Bravo, VH1, MTV, Lifetime. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is for sure going to work. And I even saw it a couple of times. But ask me if it brought any clients. Maybe one? How much were brows? Like $750 or something like that? That was a $35,000 mistake. I'm serious. It wasn't even a booked client. It was just an inquiry. Crazy, right? I talk about this mistake all the time because people think that just paying for an ad or visibility will get you to success. And then there's even been other times where I've appeared on television for free. I've been on The Real Talk Show. I've been on Bravo. I've been on the news. And it's wild to me how it doesn't produce as many results as you think it might. Same thing with maybe landing a big influencer. I've done several girls, millions and millions of followers, big celebrities. And I was like, oh, this is going to bring me so many clients. Nothing. It's not about that. Like, please, I feel like I'm talking to myself 10 years ago. If I were to talk to myself 10 years ago when you think that this is your big break, get a grip. There's other things you actually need to do in your business, like solidifying the foundation of your sales machine in order to make these things convert. It's interesting to me how perhaps like a live that I do will bring in more sales than me appearing on Bravo. It's not just the visibility. I think what ended up happening was once I learned the skill of building a sales machine and what happens on the back end of all of those interactions, that's when I started making money. I spent money on skills, is essentially what I'm saying. The skill of organic audience building, not having to rely on a network, not having to rely on an influencer, not having to rely on ads. That is a skill. The first thing that I highly suggest that you guys spend your money on is audience building. And what I mean by audience building is organic audience building. Spend money on learning the people machine. Why beauty professionals don't make enough money is because they're out of an audience. But before you build an audience, you need to first learn where to build an audience on. It's where your clients are. This is why Bravo didn't work. This is why cable TV ads didn't work. My clients weren't there. I thought they were. It made sense to me that they were. Where were they? They were on their phones. Why didn't influencer marketing work? It's because I'm contradicting myself, right? It wasn't the right influencer. To be clear, influencer marketing is a lot of what grew my business. Once I figured out the people machine, how to choose the right influencers. I've had influencers come into my business and I'd offer them a free service in exchange for like a shout out or something, or for them to post about it, who had maybe a tenth of what these other millions and millions of these mega influencers had. And they brought in more business. So what I'm trying to say is this requires a lot of analysis before you jump into it. It's not that your business is slow. It's that your audience and the right audience is small. Audience building is a skill set that you need to invest in if you really want to grow to multiple 6 or even 7 figures. Because beauty entrepreneurs will spend thousands of dollars on a lash course, a Botox course, another hair course, a brow course, won't invest in getting people to actually find them. So here's how to fix it. Grow your Instagram, YouTube, TikTok the right way. Not by hoping and praying, but by learning the strategies. Actually, I've created a free resource. It's called the Strangers to Clients Formula that teaches you how to take your current followers and turn them into paying clients. All you need to do to get this is just to DM me on my Instagram at @RealSheilaBella, the words strangers to clients. And it's completely free. It'll get you started. I'll send you the link. A key takeaway in terms of the people machine is I want you guys to take clients off of social media because social media could disappear at any moment. There could be an outage or whatever. Take your clients off of social media and into an email or text list. Invest in a CRM, which stands for Client Relations Management, and it's a software that collects emails through a sales funnel and a lead generator. And it's so great if you get the right one. It automates your marketing, your social strategy, follow-up sequences, reminders. And here's what I have to say about people who think like automation's so impersonal. I don't know what's better, you not being able to get back to a direct message before you're too busy, or an auto text that at least gets the conversation started. See what I'm saying? Second thing you might want to invest in is branding, like proper professional branding. I feel like it's so easy to tell these days when somebody gets their logo off of Canva or Etsy. The Etsy logos, I feel like they all look the same. They have that script and it's gold or rose gold and it's like in a circle. I'm sorry if I'm calling you out. The thing is, looking high end brings in luxury clients. People judge your brand in like 3 seconds. They judge your brand. They judge you. If your IG looks messy, then the conclusion is you're messy. If your IG isn't beautiful, the conclusion is you can't make them beautiful. If your website looks outdated, then the conclusion is your technique is outdated. If your system isn't automated, it's so typical nowadays to have automated workflows. Your discerning clients are going to think that you're outdated. And before you're like, Sheila, I want to spend my money on ads, before you do that, and I'm going to be a little crass, running ads on a bad brand is like putting lipstick on a pig. Before you run ads, make sure that your brand is ready to be seen. You want to present a brand that looks as luxurious as the prices you want to charge. You need a simple sales funnel, a simple yet highly converting website, and a booking system that looks professional and runs smoothly. And definitely invest in a sales funnel because people need to be nurtured before buying. Nurture before you sell. If you're trying to figure out where to start, I actually have a free Facebook group called Beauty Biz Secrets. Just go on Facebook, type in Beauty Biz, B-I-Z Secrets, and you'll find it. There's a ton of free resources on there to get you start building your skill set on sales funnels, automations, CRMs, etc., etc. Trust me, there are no stupid questions. You can even ask questions on there because remember who you're talking to. I didn't know any of this stuff when I first started, and so I will never ever judge you. Remember, you only need to ask a stupid question once. Here's something that I've never thought of, but it relates now because I mentioned that running ads without a beautiful brand is like putting lipstick on a pig, right? Perhaps that cable TV ad would have worked better if I had a proper website, a proper sales funnel, a more luxurious looking page, because it led people to it. But maybe once they got there, it turned them off. That's what I'm telling you guys. Before you run ads, make sure you're ready. Third thing I need you to consider to spend your tax return on, and it's probably the most important, skill building. Skill building is the money machine. Skills pay the bills, but the right skills pay the bills. I think so many of you guys think you need a more Instagrammable space, a flower wall, a neon sign, velvet chairs, or you think you need like better equipment for content creation. I know somebody that's making multiple 6 figures, and it was about a couple years ago, and she had an iPhone 7. Alex Hormozzi, one of my favorites, he did viral YouTube videos in his closet through a laptop with a bad camera that was grainy. Beauty professionals think they need another certification. Or maybe this is you. You want to add another service to your business. And you think just by adding another service, it's going to make you more money. If you can't sell the first thing, what makes you think you can sell the second thing or the third thing or the fourth thing? The biggest money-making skill isn't more services. It's sales and marketing. It's lead generation skills. It's closing skills. If you have not learned these, you will always struggle. Guys, when I first started my beauty business journey, I had one service. And to be honest with you, I wasn't that good at it because I was just starting out. Hello, cut me a break here. But why was I getting all the clients? And I remember even surpassing the person that trained me business-wise pretty quickly within the first year. And she was the one that trained me, and I wished my artistry was just as good as hers. And the reason why my artistry did get better is because I had time on skin. I got to practice on real people. I had one service. I learned how to sell that one thing. I learned how to scale that one thing. I hired. And the only service we offered was brows at the time. I got to 7 figures without any additional beauty certifications. Now, I'm all for upping your artistry, but first make sure you have healthy cash flow. Make sure you have consistent clients for that one thing before you add anything else. So let's recap. 3 things that you should be investing your tax return on. 1, invest in audience building the right audience. 2, branding and sales funnels, because all of those tools, it's going to get you so far. Don't skip it. And number 3 is skill building, not just material things. So if you're ready to actually grow your business, every month I have 5 slots for personal strategy calls that I take myself. If you are one of these people and you want a 60-minute in-depth strategy call, go ahead and DM me on Instagram the words "I'm ready." DM me "I'm ready." I take about 5 a month. I have a big team. I have a team of 30 women and 3 guys. We just hired another guy yesterday. But I'm personally taking 5 calls a month. But I've got a great team of business strategists also. But if this is you and you want to talk to me directly, I don't know, give it a shot. Apply. DM me at Real Sheila Bella. The words "I'm ready." Also, before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you check out this video that YouTube seems to be recommending. See you later.